A new generation of farmers in Nigeria are using modern farming methods to provide fresh vegetables and other crops in urban areas like the capital city, Abuja, from a hydroponic system that helps conserve land and water. One of such is a trained epidemiologist, Angel Adelaja, who, together with her team of other young eco-friendly farmers, infuse new ideas and innovations.
Meet Angel Adelaja. She's an epidemiologist who left her professional career to get involved in farming to boost local food production. She and her team seek to lower the barrier to entry into agriculture for young and urban farmers by reducing sector risks through use of hydroponics and containerized vertical farming.
We chose this instead of planting outside is because, number one, it helps us to conserve space. So these plants, you would notice that 1 acre can usually do about 2,000 heads of lettuce. But with what we're doing here, one container, 20-foot container, which is about 14 square meters, is doing 3,000 heads of lettuce. So you take the bottom row, you now multiply it by 4, and you get, your crops.
Their method uses 10 times less land, 10 times less water, and less inputs, yet guarantees 15 times higher yields.
Then if you look at the crops as well, if I do it outside, I'm going to lose a lot of my crops because of the pests. So I'm always afraid that something's going to eat my crops. But you can see there's not one bite in these plants.
She gathers the waste from her poultry house plus other biodegradable waste, dumps it into this compost pit, from where she draws the solution which she adds to her hydroponic system in order to grow the vegetables. They also share with other farmers to help them compete on the commercial scale in agriculture.
As a young person who wanted to get into agriculture, I found it very difficult to get access to land. I found it very difficult to get access to water and all the other things that I needed to do effective agriculture. And even then, you realize that you're not making as much, you're losing your crops. So we started with greenhouses and hydroponic systems, and then we said, okay, how come we can't farm inside a container and retrofit it with a hydroponic system? So we just tried it. We've just been hacking our way through agriculture.
And this innovative farming technology is resilient to climate change. It also helps to recycle these boxes and other indigenous, locally found materials.
It was something that was helping us to be more eco-friendly. We were cautious of how much land we're using. We didn't want to go into the bush and clear land and destroy the forest. We wanted to be cautious about how much water we were using. We didn't want to keep irrigating the soil and then it just runs off and then we have to get more water. We wanted to be able to make sure that we're increasing our yield per hectare.
The idea behind this is bringing fresh, quality produce directly to those who need them. They harvest at least 120 kilograms per harvest per month, which is about 3,000 heads. So far, 88 companies buy her veggies in large quantities, and some individuals order as well. Food security, poverty, and migration are persistent issues in Nigeria.
I grew up in the States and I had a longing for Nigeria, and I really just want to improve my country and add to my country. If I could be using my brain there, I can be using my brain here. So the concept is, how do we develop our own spaces? How do we make sure that our own people have jobs? We're not going to wait for government to do it. We're not going to wait for anybody to do it. We're going to do it ourselves.
In February 2016, Adelaja moved to the next stage of the search. The young entrepreneur was one of the 216 applicants from Nigeria for the venture.
Oh, that is impressive. You're watching Africa 54. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. Now, people with albinism in Uganda face discrimination and are targeted for ritual sacrifices. They live with stigma and fear, but some have managed to persevere. Take a look at this important story.
13-year-old Twa Chizito and 10-year-old Ibrah Mutebi are brothers living with albinism. They have 4 siblings who are not albinos. Born to Annette Agesa in Busigiri village from central Uganda in Wakiso district, Chizito and Mutebi are the only ones who inherited the condition. Due to their physical differences, they face peculiar challenges.
As me and my brother and the albino people.
Me and my brother, like other albinos, it's very difficult to see things slightly far from us. We find problems, say, reading words written on the blackboard, That's why we are allowed to sit in front of the classroom.
Sing properly so that they put us in front.
Just like the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, Uganda's albinos and people living with albinism face worse problems than medical implications and social discrimination. The biggest are attitude problems, usually attached to superstitious beliefs surrounding albinism.
Africa in general, they feel that when you meet an albino, it's a curse. And again, they contradict themselves that when you get a body part of an albino, you get riches.
Albinos live a worried existence, despite fortune seekers make them a target, hunted like animals, murdered, dismembered, and their body parts are sold to witch doctors. Negesa says that she lives in constant fear for her sons' lives. Every time they leave home, I get worried because at any time they can be abducted. I always warn them not to walk alone. When they are going and coming back from school, they must be with their sister. That's why I decided to take them to the nearest school. While at school, Twaha and Ibrah are closely monitored by their teachers and are always in the company of their young sister, Mutebi Saula. Twaha and Ibrah are not the only one in such situation. There are over 25,000 registered albinos in Uganda. In a bid to fight stigma, discrimination and fear among albinos, the Uganda Albinos Association organizes periodic social events.
Some people think that
Members empower each other through sharing their experiences, testimonies, and taking guidance from their seniors. Twaha and Ibrah always participate in these albino community events. I've come with my brother. He's just there. And recently he was kidnapped by unknown people who injected him with some stuff that made him become unconscious. We don't know what they did on him before they released him. There are times when I meet someone and he or she spits at me.
How can I do such a thing? I've got everything on me. Yeah. Oh, come on, you guys, be who you are.
While empowering the public to let go of lingering societal attitudes, they explain that violent people are profiting from false beliefs. They want the public to understand that the myths are untrue and albinism is a hereditary condition. Francis Tumekwasize Bahene for VOA Kampala, Uganda.
It's time now for another break. Before we go, a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for all the latest information, day or night. You can also find us on youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come on Africa 54. Some of the poorest places can be rich in hope. We'll learn about an art program that inspires the youth to see the beauty in life. That story after the break.